We got November home sales surged more than expected, boosted by lower mortgage rates. Now, right out of the gate, okay, this was actually a pretty quick little window boosted by mortgage rates because then bang, they like whipped right back again. I'm going to have to keep my arms still, by the way, because they're making too much noise. I can hear them as I'm talking. So sales of previously owned homes rose 4.8% in November compared to October, and that puts us at a seasonally adjusted annualized rate of 4.15 million units, which is substantially higher than 2023, and I'm really happy about that.
Yeah.
This gives us great momentum into the end of the year, and I am very pleased to hear about this. This is a good one for me.
Yeah, no, it's great. And well, we already know, we talked about this in the last podcast. It's 5 million to 5.5 million. Actually, 5 to 6 million homes is what the standard typical, market. So we're just almost a million homes shy.
Below it, but we're substantially better off than we were in 2023.
Absolutely.
So that's a good sign for me. I know we kind of talked a lot about some optimistic things coming up in the new year, or at least I was personally saying I was optimistic about it. This kind of helps me kind of seal that a little bit more, that we're carrying momentum into 2025 rather than like a normal new year thawing out period where, January, people are kind of thinking about it. February, people start stretching. And then March, you're like, I think I want to buy a house this year. Yeah. I think this is an indication that some of that's already started.
What's pretty crazy, sorry about that, but what's pretty crazy is it is only 6.1% more homes sold this time of year than last year, but you felt like there was more optimism in the market, in the real estate market, which is phenomenal. And that's a small, you're talking about just a single digit change. So that's drastic.
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. Like more buyers, it did feel like more buyers were, in the market. We had a lot more active activity this year than the previous last year's. And I think it's only going to carry into the next year because of the momentum. And then also I think people are now getting conditioned and used to rates being in the levels that they are.
Yep.
And we did see a little dip last year. And I think that's what people are going to be on the lookout for, for those good weeks that, prices do drop. You get a dip in the rate and you're able to lock something in. So I think that's going to be something that we see.
I do like how the article stated right here. Mortgage rates have fallen to an 18-month low in September, but then shot higher in October. So here we go again. And we're high, guys. We're in that 6-7 range.
Yeah, and it even references here that new normal. And again, we had talked about some of the pacing and the projection that's happening, and I'll say just the behavioral conditioning that we're doing. Not we're doing, but I'm saying we as like an industry, because you have like the Fed talking about it, you got talking heads on TV talking about it, people in real estate and mortgage like, oh yeah, 6 to 7, this is like a normal da da da. And then anytime, here's a clue to most of you. Anytime you hear them say, well, on average for the last 40 years, rates have been 7.5.
Yeah.
Whenever they're trying to like sling that at you and sell you on that means they're trying to get you primed and ready that we're just going to be in this new normal. And they use that same term in this article.
Absolutely. The average medium sales price of a home, it wasn't 406, 415, either.
Like 60,
exactly.
30.
So that makes a huge difference.
Depends how far back you go, right?
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
So just a small cautionary tale word of warning for this Christmas day. Whenever you see the words new normal and telling consumers that they should expect 6 to 7, well, that's what they're getting you ready for.
That's right. The new norm.
Long gone are the days of the 2s and 3s of fixed 30-year loans. That's so funny to say that still, but much more pleased about this looking into the new year than I think how the year started. I mean, I think we're always a little optimistic at the beginning of the year, but then like some of the way the spring turned out a little cooler than we expected as far as like activity. And then like the summer was like kind of chill too. And then we started talking like, oh shoot, I think the summer is actually happening in the fall.
Yeah.
This is I think confirmation of that too.
Yeah, I know it's a very different market for sure. It's very convenient to start the new year being very positive, right? That's where we get our New Year's resolutions. We want new change because we were tired of whatever happened in that last year, right? So anything better in creating that momentum in the start of the year is always a good way to start it. So even things may not start as quick, because I know for me, January and February were not the typical years that we had the years prior to, right? But mentally, I'm going to put myself like, hey, January, February are going to be the best jingle years, right? This way to start the year, but that may not be necessarily the case. Just like anything we do in life, you have to go out there and search. You have to go out there and adapt to your new environment. How are you going to go out there hunting is not going to be the same way you're going to hunt in the winter like you were in the summer, stuff like that you have to kind of implement into your new life.
So what you're saying is you're not going to jingle part of the way. You're going to jingle all the way. Okay,
That's right.
got it.
Oh,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So good.
Thanks for letting me slide that in there, Brian. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, I made an observation right here where it said sales home price over 1 million surged to 24.5% from November of last year. And one of the things that I did see is that, I feel that a lot of people started buying those, price houses because in a couple of years they won't be $1 million. It'll be, a lot more. And then what I also saw is that people, tend to go into these investments or property looking at it for a future play, whether they're going to, add units, add square footage. And I think that, prompted a lot of houses that were over $1 million to get sold. That, and I mean, just wherever you are, some houses are going to be priced at. But a lot of multi-unit homes were sold. And I feel a lot more people are having that appetite. So I feel that's something that we can expect more to come.
Yeah. It is very interesting to me. I'm glad you brought that point up because sales of homes priced over $1 million surged 24.5%. That's a very substantial number
huge.
given the affordability crunch that we've also been talking about. So hold on a second. What do you mean rates have been elevated? They've stayed there. And also sales of homes over $1 million have surged 24.5%. That's pretty crazy. And that's year over year. So that's November of 2023 to November of 2024. Now, I understand that if you're looking back at 2023, that was kind of the highs. That October that preceded that November was the highest that we'd seen in 20-something years for fixed rates since the early 2000s. So it kind of makes sense that there's that surge. So part of that is just the doing math stuff. And part of that, I honestly think, is people overcoming the affordability issues.
No, it's just crazy. I mean, it's good to see that the luxury market just went up by 24%. But nowadays, I mean, you're looking at $1 million home. It does not look like the typical $1 million home. Like when I was watching the Leave It to Beaver, right? I mean, you can tell what $1 million home looked like. That's when I believe the people that struck oil from Texas, I forget what that show was.
Beverly Hillbillies.
There you go.
Beverly Hillbillies.
That house they moved
into. Look at his
into.
blank stare face right now. What are you guys talking about?
Yeah, that's
TV was in black and white. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but my point, Andy, is
you weren't streaming.
Okay, I'll let you guys. No worries.
Go.
Because it is funny that you won't understand it, but.
I'm listening though.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm hearing. Look, hey guys, my eyes. Not doodly here. I want to know.
Yeah, but my point was $1 million homes look like $1 million not nowadays.
They have the circle drive and a big fountain, maybe some statues, maybe the lions on the gate, right when you come in the driveway, something like that. Is that what you're thinking about?
Yeah.
No, this is, I think, great for moving into the new year. Obviously, a sales surge is indicative of what is happening underneath the surface.
Yeah.
People who have maybe been fed up waiting are like, fine, you know what? I'm just going to have to do this. People who are now economically able to buy. And look, I don't want it to go past us all here and us people watching. $1 million is still a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
Let's not pretend $1 million now is still $100,000. It has completely changed.
Yeah.
And I think it's just that there's such a higher density of homes that are just priced at now that we would call regular suburban homes in these high cost metro areas like San Diego and LA and San Francisco and Miami and the list goes on and on. So
I mean, it's like a $7,000 payment now.
I know it's like a choke hearing
It's like
that
a
number.
salary,
right? Yeah, I mean, that is some people's monthly salary.
Yeah.
Well, they're got to have both people working all the time and make that house payment. So.
Yeah.